Hey pinballers, just wanted to do a update on all the pinball stuff that I've been doing. So of course the plastic bag there is the scoreboard for my high speed, and the boards are behind that. Still haven't gotten to soldering in the new battery holder. And I'm still going to do a tutorial on how to solder on battery holder again on a board. Others have said, why don't you do a remote battery holder, and I probably will still do a remote battery holder, but I'm still contemplating if I want to do that, because I have heard that it doesn't really matter where you put the batteries unless you put it outside of the cab, because the alkaline vapors will destroy stuff too. Here's some of the various parts. The stuff in this tub here is stuff that I need to clear coat still. This is the lockdown bar. As you can see, it still looks kind of grimy, but I got the majority of the rust off of this. There is still a little bit still. And I believe we experimented on this piece, I think, with some rust be gone stuff, and me or my employee didn't like how it looked afterwards. So I think this might be one of the pieces that we kind of didn't like what the rust be gone stuff did. That's probably not the name of the product was, but it's basically a rust remover thing, and it was like, so it got it for the most part. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's not like 100% perfect or anything, but it is a lot better than what it looked like. It was a rusty mess. So and here's another piece that I've clear coated as well. There is some rust that my employee didn't get completely off, but it looks better than it did. That's definitely for sure. These casters are the old ones. I'm definitely not going to use these again, because they're pretty much shot. They've got all the bolts. These bolts here are going through the legs, and most of them are smushed. That's why I put the felt on it for temporary purpose. And what I am going to do is, you can laugh if you want, but since this is my first pan, everything that I take out, I'm going to make a shadow box out of the palette that this came on, and put everything that I replaced into it. and then I was going to put it up above the pin, or somewhere around the pin, and have it kind of like a dedicated, this is my overhaul of the pin. It basically everything's going to be replaced on this pin, so it'll pretty much be brand new. And I would actually just replace this ramp, but I looked on different sites and they're about, I think, $200 for a ramp, which probably isn't a lot for like somebody that's in this business, but for someone that is just getting started, it is kind of expensive for me, because I don't get any money from doing these yet. I would like to do these for repairs for others locally here, but yeah, and this is pretty much finished. I might actually do a little bit of a light sanding, because on the back here it does have a little bit of haze to it. I do like how it came out. I didn't use triple sec on these parts that I clear coated. I used water-based polyurethane, but I might use try triple sec on some of the pieces that I don't have clear coated and see how they turn out. I'm probably going to use triple sec on the art side of the play field there. This one I have to do some extra work on because my employee didn't sand the rust areas before he did a clear coat on it. I think it's only one coat, so it won't be too bad. So yeah, I might take some rougher grit to this to get the clear coat off, even though the 600 grit will probably take it off good fine too, because I think it is only just one coat. So here's the wire ramps. These actually are really in nice good shape. I did buy a wiring harness for swapping parts and stuff if I needed, and basically it's just the wiring harness. I would have liked the play field as well, because he did have the play field, and it was actually in worse shape than mine is, and I was actually going to use it for not only paint practice for touching up, but I was also going to use it for reference, but for some reason I was even willing to pay even extra for it, but the guy insisted on not sending it, so I was kind of ticked off about that. But he did send the ramp. I've got another set of ramps here, even though they are more worse off. They are rusty. These are a little, there's only like one spot I think that was rusty, but yeah, they're in really nice shape, I think, especially for the age. So yeah, the metal ramps are really in nice shape. Here's part of the coin door that I still haven't done anything with. I could actually do a brand new coin door, which a lot of people in this kind of business do, get a new coin door, but again, it comes down to money, and I don't have a lot of money, and so I'm just going to clean it up as best as I can, get any of the rusty spots, which there isn't too much of that on this, and then I was going to probably use some spray paint on the bolt, that bolt there that's rusty. The rest of them are in fairly good shape. And of course the coin door itself. And yes, those are parts of the pin of high speed, and I was not really that smart when I took this apart. There's about half of the parts that are unmarked, like just laying in a box, and then there's half that are marked with where they go. So I wasn't really that smart in that aspect, because I got smart halfway through tearing the pin apart, and so I have to figure out, I have to make sure that I get short screws for under the play field, so that I don't go through the play field. I'll just use some deck screws. Anyways, this is basically just a test. I have a staple gun that I was testing out. I was using the 8mm staples and I was just basically doing a test with the old grounding wire, and just going down this wood, and so I pretty much have it down. It actually works very nice. It's really smooth. It's an electric. I do have a manual hand staple gun, but I wanted an electric one just so it would, because with the manual ones, if you don't have it set down hard on the surface, it'll sometimes be raised up, and then you have to get a hammer and hope, and it'll sometimes go in. But yeah, this was just basically a test for the electric staple gun. And more various parts. Like I said, I was not really that smart when I was taking this apart, and there's a bunch of parts that this I think is the jet bumper plunger here. And I need to get a jet bumper 3 rebuild kits for the jet bumpers. There is one of these that I think is the wrong one, because these pinchers didn't go down, or it doesn't. One of them didn't come off. It was the one. The one on the bottom didn't come off, and I think that was the one that had a crack. in the housing here, so that needs to be replaced. And I'm gonna do some sanding on the coin door, where the coins go into. Sand these and then do some spray paint, but I'm going to use some high gloss. The black that I do have is just a matte, which I found out after I sprayed the inside of the my cab that it was matte. I was like, maybe it just needs a second coat, and then it was like, oh, and then I looked at the can and I went, oh shit, it's a matte finish. So I'm contemplating if I want to just leave the inside of the cab as is, or if I'm going to spray some matte or high gloss on it. So yeah, that's that box. Show this real quick. It's the topper. I think this was the very first thing that I actually did clean. I used all of the Novices, the Novus 3 and Novus 3, 2, and 1 on it. It looks almost brand new. There is actually, I think there's a crack or some, yeah, there is some cracks on it, but it's like, it's gonna be on the top, very top of the back box, so it's not, I know you can get replacements for these, but it's like, it would be one thing if like a big chunk of this was broken or something, but it's not really noticeable up on the, because it's a topper, so it's like, so yeah, and this big HP box actually has the main wiring harness that me and my employee has cleaned. I don't remember if I have any videos of it before it was cleaned. But I can show the second wiring harness that I bought. It's basically the same as, it was the same dirtiness as this, my high-speed wiring before it was cleaned. It looks a lot better than it was. And this I actually have to double check the connectors on, because you'll see on the other wiring harness that I'll go to here soon that some of the connectors are orange or have a burnt look to them, so yeah. And I have to look at the sockets to see if they're good, which the majority of them do look pretty good, or at least the ones that are in the seat together. Well, and like all of the pins, I do have a replacement cord for my high speeds power cord. But I would like some comments on if this needs a flat cord or if it is a round cord. It is from 1986. I think it's actually supposed to be a flat type, but I could be wrong. Just because of this kind of thing, that it might have been a transitional year for the pin for Williams pins, that they went to the round ones, and in that year. I'm not completely sure. And of course I've got the manual here. And here's something I would like. I would like a power supply kit for mine. I didn't actually get all of the caps like that one. I don't know what it is because I couldn't see the what the values were on this silver cap, so I didn't put that on my list. Most of these are, though. I also got both of the bridge rectifiers, which is basically a converter to AC to DC and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, here's my list. So I basically broke it down into some organization for myself, which the caps are the first ones, the stand-up kind, which are the ones that literally do stand up. And I don't know if some of these are kind of hard to find because of mainly because of the voltage. It's different on some of these, but I think it's more of the microfarads that you want to look at more than the voltage. And of course the left and right wire through caps or leads are the ones. I didn't know what the name for that was, so I just did left and right, which are the ones that are like that. So I've got that, and the 25 volt 18,000 microfarad one is that brown one there. Bridge rectifiers is what I was just talking about. And fuses. And I think some of these fuses might not be made anymore. I was looking on Marco Specialties, or yeah, I can't say the damn name right now for some reason, but Marco, I'll just say that. And I didn't see all of the fuses on there, so I'm wondering if there's any fuses that I can actually kind of substitute with some other fuses. I know that you don't really want to go over on amperage on some of these. You want to kind of do a step up or on a fuse if they don't have the fuse made anymore, kind of thing. I think it might be this 8 amp 32 volt one that I think is not made anymore, or I didn't see it on the Marco page. Might not just be seeing it or something, but I think it's the only non-slow blow that's in there. And here's well, this 1 amp one is what I did question marks, so I wasn't sure what the volt. I don't know if it's set a voltage or not on it. I don't think I saw one. Of course, I probably could look at the manual that I've got, but why would I do that? Anyways, in this enormous cap thing, which is the one that's strapped to the metal casing for the boards here. I don't know. I didn't really know what it was called, so I think it might be some kind of big cap, but I'm not actually sure. But this is the specs on it. I did want to get it replaced. I don't know if it does need it. I don't know if those fail very often or not. So yeah, it's more them comments things if you know what you're doing, unlike myself that doesn't know what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, that's my list of parts that I want to get replaced on the board side. I do need 3 flipper rebuilds for the flippers, because the plungers for them are all shot on them. Here's the play field. I haven't done really anything with the touch up on it. I still have like a tiny bit of the blue here where the Mylar was, and what I'm going to do is, when I have all of the plastic inserts and stuff back in and the numbers done, I'm going to do a clear coat this. And this is almost clean. I used some of this awesome Oxy Orange soap stuff on it on the back here, and I think still need to wash it off with the just the regular water over there. And I didn't replace any of these T-nuts, even though probably a bunch of you are going to scream at your monitor saying, "Do what? No, you didn't replace any of them." Yeah, I didn't. And there is a few areas that look like they need to be hit again with the soap. And some of these areas where the stand-up targets need to get hit, because they've got some of that Novus that went down it. So And here's the other wiring harness that goes into the back box. This is the right flipper here that has the dual contacts on it. I did do some 600 grit sandpaper on the contacts, but I may replace both the flipper contacts, because they do look, they still look grimy to me. And surprisingly, even though most of the coin door and the stuff in the front was rusty, the only thing I'm surprised that the coin door lights actually look really nice. The sockets inside look, well, pretty much brand new. There was some rust on the backs here that were sanded, so it looks pretty much like nothing was happened. Of course, this is the where the coin mech part here, where the coin hits this and it tells the CPU that a coin's been dropped and all that kind of stuff. But this one does have, I don't know if I can find it, but at least one of these connectors needs replaced. Here's some more of the rust that I got off as much as I could on this this thing that tells the PinBall that you've got the coin door open. And here's the coin door mech's metal, and I just wanted to show that yes, we have been cleaning like crazy. You can see all the grime on all of these towels here. What we basically did is on the wiring harness we used toothbrushes and used the sprayed Novus 1 on the wire, and then we just used the toothbrush like crazy and got into the connectors and the wires, and we didn't take any of the bundle apart, didn't cut any of the ties or anything. We just we basically just did this to it, and we, like I said, we just left the bundles tied because it would be just a hassle to rebundle all that. So well, and for the metal, after we got done sanding the rusty portions of the metal, we used metal polish, which is this Moz metal polish, which you just need a tiny bit to polish the metal. And here's one of the mechs out. So this is with sanding and then doing the metal polish on it. And this is all by hand. I don't have any fancy tools or anything, so getting this stuff to look this good just by doing it hand sanding and hand polishing it, it's actually turned out pretty good, I think. Of course, we didn't get all of the rust on this, and there's pitting, as you can see here, and didn't get all the rust. Like there's some corners that didn't get that. It didn't matter how much sanding we did, it just didn't seem to want to come out of the corners, so we just said screw it, it looks as good as it's probably gonna get. So, and this I actually didn't do anything with, I just sprayed Novus on it and cleaned it up because it's probably the only piece that actually looks good, and it's pretty crazy because the rest of this stuff was rusty, and so it's kind of weird what got hit with rust and what didn't, because everything was connected together on this. So yeah, and get out the this other one. And yeah, there's the various parts for the putting the mechs back together and all that. But again, it's basically the same thing on the other. So we just sanded and polished the parts. And again, this part actually I didn't do anything with except for spray with Novus, and I did actually do a light sanding on this because there was a little bit of rust on this. But yeah, this looks a lot better than what it looked like, because with all pans, especially this old, they got a lot of drink spilled on and where does that liquid go? It goes to the front of the pan, because even with the that foam that's supposed to kind of not really protect the stuff inside, it doesn't really catch all of it, and it'll seep down and rust the coins mechs and stuff. So, but yeah, you can see this one was probably worse off than the other one because it has even more pitting on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and I still haven't hit the on-off switch yet. That still needs to be done. As you can see, this is what it looked like before doing the sanding. And I'll probably do a light sanding on the where the solder is here, because there is a little bit of green, which is just a bit of oxidation, but yeah, they do look nice. There's only like maybe a couple of places where it is oxidized, but yeah, it's not too bad. Here's we did actually take some needle nose pliers and uncrimp the top here and sand it inside as well. This one looks like it was only needs some more, still needs more sanding because this corner here still is a bit rusty. Let's see, and let me try and find the burned connector here, because there is at least one on this harness that is burned. So there's probably a burn connector on the main playfield wiring harness as well. Yes, I remember now what connector it was. It was the connector to the power supply here. And as you can see, it got pretty nice and toasty there. So it's got about that one and a few others that are burned. And the thing is I need to figure out what kind of tool I need for getting these out of the. Well, I don't know that I actually need to get these out, but I do need to replace the connector and then re-pin the. I don't know what tool I need for doing the repinning, because I don't want to put this together with the one of the power connectors like this, because it is something was getting too hot, and I did actually, when I took this off, I cleaned the connector around it because it was orange. It had the orange burning on it as well, and it still has a little bit of a discoloration on the actual connector too. I didn't see that it really melted the connector on the board, but I'd like to know if that also needs to be replaced, or if I can just get this or just get a replacement connector for this. And I don't think you have to replace the black ones. I think these are like these take a higher load or something. I could be wrong, but I didn't see any. I mean, they were dirty inside, but I didn't really see anything burnt underneath here or inside, so I think those are pretty much all good. And stuff like this might be some of the reason why some of the stuff was malfunctioning. I wish I would have gotten the thing 100% working before tearing this apart, but that's part of my learning process, is I should have done that before I got this all torn apart, but oh well. You can yell at your monitor all you want. I ain't going to hear you anyways, so. So I think that might be it. Well, yeah. Well, and I'm kind of contemplating if I want to replace all of these leaf switches or not, just because it is from '86 and it looked like the operators of this thing didn't really give a shit about this, which is common with amusement equipment stuff. Is they pretty much don't care about it. They just let it. They set it in some place and make money for them and all that stuff, and don't really. So yeah. That's weird. I don't remember this connector at all. It obviously is part of the pin, but it's like, what? I think this might be going to the I think this might be part of the power supply too, but I could be wrong, because I remember this this funky keyed yeah, thing. Derp. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I don't have all of the parts here. I have some of them out in the garage. So I guess I'll go out there and show those, I guess. Of course, here's the original legs, which they are in good shape. They aren't, none of them are bent or anything. They are rusty, which I'm going to sand the rust off, and then I'm going to do what I've got planned with this is one of the, I still haven't gotten done with it, but this is using the matte finish black, and there goes the leg. So this is the paint that I used. Is a Rust-Oleum paint, which I might actually do a high gloss instead, but I'm not sure if I want to. And then of course I'm going, when I'm completely finished with the leg, I'm going to use some sort of clear coat. I don't know if it'll be this or the triple sec. But yeah, well, and this one here is actually a brand new leg. Yeah, so I do have a backup if I don't want to use the original legs, which I decided I am going to use the original legs. I'm just going to repaint them, and it's funny that this is kind of a mod, because these aren't, of course the black isn't original, and I am going to actually do the high-speed theme colors on the legs with, so I'm gonna use my acrylic paints, and I was thinking maybe like on the rib of the leg here, I was going to do like the white road strip here, like it has on the top of the play field. And then I was going to do like the red outline and then have the yellow inside of that, like it is on the cab. So I've got a lot of ideas for the legs that I think it'll make it jazz it up even more. So yeah, no taking my idea though. No. Yeah, actually I don't care. You can take it if you want. Of course, the lockdown bar, I still need to get that sanded. Here's one of the paints that I'm going to use on this is Alizarian Crimson. It's a Art Advantage acrylic. I really like the quality of this. I actually use this on the cab. I use this actually was really close to the actual red on that had the border for the car. Well, the border for the orange area and then for the car, so I didn't really have to do any color matching there. Although it was faded, it's kind of faded a little bit, so I basically just did a color match for the yellowish orange and the white. I actually used some white that kind of makes the cab pop, which I actually like. It's not it's not really original because it almost seems like I think of it like it's almost reflective, like a construction site white kind of thing. But let me go outside in the garage and show those parts off. So here I am out in the garage. Most of the cab is painted. There's one of these sides on the back box that I still need to do the red on. And then of course I need to get this touched up because for some reason the wood bonding that I did on here chipped off, so I need to get that. I'll probably just touch it up with the black because I was like yeah, whatever. And of course the cab here where I actually did some of the wood filler in some of the holes that were in the bottom here, and then of course I started to do some of the wood filler in the areas that there was gashes out of the wood, which were in quite a few places here. And I did actually paint the cab, and instead of using stencils, which I do know that there is stencils for high speed, but I think it looks a lot better than what it used to. There is photos. If you go to my Facebook, there's over 300 plus photos of this cab. So here's the coin door. It has clear coat on it already. and I've sanded the daylights out of it because it was rusty and had it had the yeah, drips and all that. And here's this with clear coat on it as well. And here's just some random parts, and here's some of the replacements parts here. I still need quite a lot of replacement parts. Legs, leg protectors, leveler thing, various sleeves for coils, new grounding wire, new plunger. The original was cracked. And I'm gonna get a new skirt or guard or whatever because of the sticker here. Of course, the speakers, they haven't been cleaned at all yet. Random parts, do. Here's the flipper, one of the flipper assemblies, knocker, and I think that's pretty much it. Oh, here's some new for the lockdown bar foam and the upright targets foam. New rubber ring kit. Oh yeah, and I will need a new traffic light. As you can tell, I kind of melted mine because I was trying to get this red piece out, and I was using a heat gun, and the the light melted. So yeah, that was a stupid thing on my end, but it's another thing I learned not to do for the next time. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, well, why did you watch it in the first place? And yeah, and there's a bunch of the nails that we're holding the guard on, which I need to figure out how the heck I'm going to get these types of nails. But anyways, and there's my shit job of doing the water-based clear on the back of it, and learned that you don't want to do that because, as you can tell, it's got some, it made it worse. It made the art come off the glass there, and that's what I was trying to avoid, is that. So yeah, it's clear coated back there, but it's yeah, made it shitty. I am going to replace it, but eventually, but it's not very easy to find a new back glass. So oh yeah, and there's the original front of the cab, and that's what it looks like now. So yeah, until next time.